Yeah, yeah. CBI, TV, man, no one running with, no one running with. Ay, with the.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Mackenzie, owner of Bourgeois Clothing, screenwriter for Lust, and we'll be doing a couple of interviews with a couple of local dancers, aka entertainers. Today we have
Alexa Les.
and she's gonna break down the business and how it really goes down. There's a lot of times, I should say, people get into the business and don't even understand how the business is ran, and just get into it just to be cool. But there's actually rules and regulations to this business, right? And I mean, anything you'd like to say before we start?
No.
All right. So, your name is again?
Alexa Les.
Okay. So, what do you like to be called on
When I'm
stage?
dancing, my stage name is preferably Alexa, depending on where I'm at, because I am a traveling dancer. But if there's other girls with any names closer, like Alexis, Alexia, then I will have to randomly change my name so there's no conflict.
All right. So, like on a normal day, right? How does your day look like on a dancer's average day? How does your day look like?
So my usual schedule will be from 6 to 1 in the morning, or it depends on the hours of the club. It can go from anywhere between 6 in the evening to 2 in the morning or later.
Okay. With that, I mean, does that interfere with your personal life too, or is it?
I mean, when I know I'm setting a schedule, I will work around it and have everything set up before I'm going.
Okay. Speaking of that, so how does your daily diet look like? I mean, are you able to eat anything you want to, everything you want to?
I'm a fat kid. Yeah, I eat whatever I want. I love pizza. I don't eat salad. Yeah, pole is life, so that's pretty much my workout. The only workout I do.
So would you say it's a good cardio to do pole dancing?
Yes.
I mean, because I find it to be an art and a skill. A lot of people think you just get on the pole and just.
Absolutely not. You have to have upper body strength, leg strength, and so on. It's hard work.
So how do you build that up?
You gotta keep practicing. I wasn't, I'm still not the best pole dancer. As you can see, I have a pole in my house. I practice anytime I can, bust my ass a few times, get back up, try it again. If the club's moving slow and there's not too many customers, I might use a pole and just practice while I'm there and just, perfect my craft as it goes on.
What are one of your most embarrassing moments off the pole in the club?
Well, I usually slip for the most a lot, but I pick myself up and keep going like nothing happened. And there's some customers that really like to see that, that confidence. So they'll tip you extra when they see that, you made a mistake, but you got back up there and you kept going.
All right, so I mean, we got to the logistics and stuff, so we'll get to the meat and stuff.
Yes.
So like a lot of girls see Blac Chyna, Amber Rose, and all these reality stars. So what is the pros and cons of being a stripper / entertainer?
Well, the pros and cons. Like, everybody thinks, it's easy. You can just go to a strip club, go and make money. You don't have to pay anybody. There's house fees, there's house moms, you have to pay DJs, late fees, you have to have a locker. There's dancers that, they might steal and, work for the night and leave. And, it's a big hassle in a sense, but at the same time, it's fast money. So that's the biggest con. That's why most people get in the industry. So it's fast money.
Yeah, but the thing is, so you talk about house rules. So break that down. What do you mean by house money? Like, you gotta pay the house. What do you mean by that?
So at the end of every night, you would have to pay a house fee, which is the club. That can vary from $20 to $100, depending on the club you work at. Me, I'm a traveling dancer, so each club is different. At the end of the night, you have to pay the club for working there. You have to pay the DJ for selecting the music that you would like to be played. The house mom, if she sits inside the dressing room, she's watching your clothing, your makeup, whatever the case may be. So at the end of the night, you have to pay all three of those people.
Okay, let's say I schedule a night to go dance and I don't show up. What happens?
Well, that's where the late fee comes into place. Most clubs would like you to set up a schedule, and the minimum to work is I'll say 3 days out the week. And say you only come 1 to 2 of those days, and you don't come the third day, you're gonna have to pay a fine, anywhere from like $30 to $40, because now you're interrupting business.
And if you don't pay, what if you don't pay that? You just don't work there? How does that go? Like,
I mean, it's like anywhere else. They give you warnings, you know, and if you keep on breaking those warnings, then they're done with you. You're fired. Or the prices keep on going up.
so you bring up dancers and traveling strippers. What's the difference between an entertainer and a stripper? A lot of people get that confused and don't understand that either.
Well, to me, like a stripper is a person, you know, get dressed up, have their little shoes, the typical dancer. But an entertainer is someone that has props, you know, they wear costumes. They might play with themselves on stage and, you know, take off a customer's hat, put it on them and feel sexy. Also, you know, they could have dildos on stage and, you know, fuck themselves. That's an entertainer. They're entertaining you.
Speaking of entertainer, one time you brought it up to me. What's a shower? Somebody brought me up a shower. I thought it was like a shower show, I should say. I'm thinking somebody peeing on me or something.
Oh,
until I didn't know what the shower was.
That's the fetish world.
Yeah, so I mean, what is that?
So a shower show, at the club I work at, we have a shower room. So let's say there's multiple bachelor parties going on. There's a lot of, you know, people in the building. So as an entertainer, we're just trying to, you know, entertain more than just dancing. So we would go around with a roll of tickets for $5 each at the club I work at. And, you know, we would tell them, listen, pick a girl other than me that you would like to see in the shower with me, and we're going to entertain you. We're going to perform. You know, that can vary from titty sucking, ass licking. You know, it varies. It depends on the girl I'm picking or they're picking and what she's into. So that's pretty much a shower show. 2 girls in the shower. We get naked, and whatever happens from there happens.
So with that being said, right, would you say a lot of strippers are bisexual, lesbian? I mean, how does that go?
Well, to me, I've seen in the industry, you know, most girls are like, you know, curious. If the price is right, they'll play bisexual. They'll play like they're into other girls. But some, you know, they shy away from it as well.
Okay, so who makes the most money, the entertainers or the strippers?
I would say the entertainers, because anything goes.
So anything goes. So strippers I should say this, let me phrase the question. The transition to being a stripper and an entertainer, is that an easy transition?
I mean, you have to be comfortable within yourself. That's where the comfortability lies, what you're willing to do and who you are.
All right, so with that being said, how do you last in this business to be in it for 20, 30 years? What would be some tips that you give for someone to last, to have a good career in this business?
Well, that's an interesting question because that can go both ways. There's people in the industry that, you know, see a whole lot of money and they just blow it because they know they're going to get it back. So that's what keeps them going back for that long period of time. And then there's other people that really love the art and craft of entertaining and dancing. And that's what they do, you know? Like.
Okay, so with that, what made you get into this business?
Well, for me, I was always told, you know, I'm sexy. Everybody assumed I danced. And then as I auditioned, and, you know, the customers always, I never left an audition with not $1. I always got paid auditioning at any club I auditioned at. So that provoked me to see what it was really about, and I got comfortable. I was always comfortable with myself and had self-esteem, so I just love doing it. So that's what it is.
With that being said, why do you think most girls get into the business? Do you think it's a factor where they were touched when they were a kid, or they had no attention when they were a kid? What do you think some reasons why people get into this business?
Okay, to show people other things. Okay, from personal speaking, you know, I had eczema as a kid. I don't know if people know that's like a skin disease or chronic skin disease, and I used to cover my skin up big time. In the summertime, I used to always cover my arms, my legs, never show my body, my figure. So as I got older and my skin cleared up, you know, my self-esteem rose. So then, you know, I started seeing I had a little figure and I wanted to show it off. So that's more of me just kind of like you know, for all the guys who thought I was just ugly and rashy, now look at me, I'm the baddest, you know, stripper, or you guys love me, you know. So it goes for different people. Like I can't speak for everybody, but that's one of my reasons.
And so speaking of that, how does your dating life? I mean, how does that work with you being an entertainer? Is it hard? I mean, how do you meet somebody? I mean, how does it work?
I mean, I've had some hardships with that. You know, I put my trust in people thinking they're not going to judge me because of who I am and what I do. And, you know, I always think like they're in it because of what they think they can get from me because they know I'm an entertainer. So, I mean, it's all about trust and, you know, building trust. You have to, you know, that person has to respect your grind. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day.
So there's no jealousy in the relationships, or another dude touched you, he looked at you wrong, or...
I'm sure guys think that, without a doubt. That's just guys giving, but they're not gonna say it. Oh, I'm jealous. But I'm sure it's going through their mind.
Do you ever plan on quitting any day, or you plan on doing this for life?
I don't know. Until I get old and wrinkled. But like I'm saying, I'm just perfecting my craft. I love what I do. And I'm gonna get better.
So what's the oldest stripper you ever seen dance before?
60 years old.
And does she look good? I mean,
her body is tighter than mine.
Alright, so I mean, a couple more questions. So, as you know, we're coming out with a new series, Lust.
Yes.
I mean, it stands for Love Yourself Today. And one of the big things that we touch upon is drug use in the stripping community. So why is that? Why do strippers or entertainers, as I say, use drugs?
To open up and feel more comfortable, maybe to gain self-esteem, you know, feel comfortable. Because at the end of the day, you know, we dealing with drugs, pimps, underage females in this industry, and they're trying to crack down on it at the end of the day. So, you know, somebody could be forcing this female to go to work and she's not comfortable with it. She might look in the mirror every day and say, I'm not beautiful. So when she goes to work, she has to have that extra drive to push her to do it or whatever the case may be. Like, I'm not, but listen, I'm not a real people person. So, you know, I may drink a little more at work just to open up and, you know, laugh with people and be somebody else out, you know, that I'm not. But like when I'm at the strip club, you know, you'll be surprised how many people is in the bathroom sniffing or doing this, doing that. It's a big community for that. It really is.
All right, I really appreciate your time and thank you so much. Stay tuned for Lust, but any tips you would like to give anybody out there who's wants to be an aspiring dancer, stripper, entertainer?
Do it for yourself, and when you do it, just make sure you're comfortable, you have high self-esteem, the time, and set goals. Set goals, because it's not going to last forever. Make sure you're doing something positive with the money. Don't do it for show, don't do it for other people, do it for yourself. Love yourself.
So stay tuned for the web series Love Yourself Today. There'll be more of these short interviews, and thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, girl, I get this smooth with the team, can't defeat, trying to eat, get money overseas, European, dirt cheap.